What's up, Coogs? My name is Diaz here with a special Halloween edition of Coog Cinema Reviews, and today we're going to be discussing Ad Astra, or more like Ad Astros. Am I right? Ad Astra is a brand new science fiction space thriller type thingy starring Brad Pitt as an astronaut with severe unresolved daddy issues in the near future who is tasked by the government to locate his long-estranged father, played by Tommy Lee Jones, in the far reaches of space. What seems like a pretty straightforward mission at first brings about a number of different twists and turns, both of the material and the psychological, in this slow meditation on loneliness and solitude in the universe. But the two things I liked about this movie the most were definitely the cinematography and the performances. The cinematography is done by Hoyte van Hoytema, who also did Interstellar, if I'm not mistaken, among with some other sci-fi movies of the last decade or so. And so these shots are pretty great. They're some of the best cinematography that I've seen since like Blade Runner 2049, who was, I think, Roger Deakins. And so these two guys are some of the best cinematographers out there, in my opinion at least. And then the acting is great as well. I think Brad Pitt carries this movie. I mean, for a lot of the movie, it's just him in space floating through rocks and stuff like that. So he's got to do a lot on his own, and he carries it pretty well. And then also Tommy Lee Jones, even though he's in the movie for like 15 minutes maybe, he does a lot too. He definitely like holds up a bit as well. One of the negatives, however, of the movie is the script, which is like a pretty broad thing, but I mean, like, sometimes the script was a little bit too on the nose, especially with this like ambient narration that they had going on the whole time. Sometimes it was a little bit too much. Like, all right, yeah, I mean, I get it. I can watch the movie, you know. So that got in the way, but it wasn't enough to like, you know, take me out of the whole movie itself. It was just in the moment, but then it's like the next scene was just, it immersed me right back into it. So that was pretty good in the movie itself. And also the movie can kind of be a little bit derivative at some points. I mean, like I said, it plays out like Apocalypse Now in space or Heart of Darkness. And it honestly follows a lot of the same plot beats as the movie and the book. You know, a guy on a ship or a boat sailing through some dark, mysterious land to retrieve some omniscient, like almost god-like old man in the middle of nowhere. So it follows a lot of the same plot beats. And I don't really like comparing movies that much, but I'm gonna go ahead and do it because I'm a hypocrite. And so, you know, the two other big space movies of this decade are, of course, Gravity and Interstellar. And it's pretty similar to those, not just because it's in space, but it's also a lot different. Obviously, they're different movies. I think it finds a middle ground in between both of these movies. I think it's a little bit better than Interstellar. Interstellar is just really ambitious and a little bit too convoluted, for my taste at least. And then Gravity, it's a lot more cohesive in its plot. It's more focused on one woman's struggle trying to get home, you know. Whereas Ad Astra, it's about a lot of different things. It's about paternal relationships with a child. It's about, are we alone in the universe? What is our purpose in life? All these different things. But in all honesty, the Academy is probably going to only nominate him for one. And if it's the lead acting nomination he gets, then I think that's a little bit harder for him. I think Joaquin Phoenix, having just seen Joker, I think Joaquin Phoenix kind of has that one in the bag. If not in the bag, he's definitely a front runner. So I think it's a little bit harder for him to win that one. But if it's a supporting nomination, I think it stands a little bit better chance. I think there's a lot of momentum in both acting categories for that movie. And we'll keep an eye out for all the other performances in that category. Who knows? Maybe he'll get it. Maybe he won't. So that about does it for us here at Coog TV. I've been Diego Diaz. You've been amazing. Please like, subscribe, leave a comment what you thought of Ad Astra. Leave a comment whether you think Brad will get his Oscar this year or not. And I'll see you guys in the next one.